All right. Nima Ghazai with the man, the myth, the legend, Stasek.
Good to see you, Nima.
I appreciate you, man. eXp Con. Waiting for the yacht in Miami.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day. It's a gorgeous day here in Miami.
Yeah. Gonna have a few minutes to chat and got the sun right in our eyes, so apologies for the shades. But let's talk a little about why eXp. You were rockstar at Remax, and then you opened up your own brokerage. What was the impetus for a top producer like you to, maybe there's top producers out there that are kind of hesitant about eXp.
Yeah.
And they're not as open-minded. Like, what would you say?
I mean, the position I was in 2017, we had just come off of our actual best year with our brokerage. We sold around 300 homes and with about 12 agents. And I felt like I was, in the right spot. I opened my own brokerage, left Remax. And the one thing that was missing for me is I had no idea how to really recruit. That's why I only had about 12 agents. I think we kind of had the wrong strategy. It was sell as many homes as possible with the fewest amount of agents as possible.
Right.
Which, you could make work, but what you find yourself is on this hamster wheel on a treadmill. You're going to end up, typically your top agents are going to be the ones that are going to be spreading their wings and wanting bigger opportunities. So if you want a sustainable business, you have to have a recruiting system, which I didn't have one. So I saw the eXp model and kind of just ignored it for a few months, actually. I ended up, because we weren't feeling any pain. We were frankly in a good position, making decent money, nothing crazy. And, again, we just didn't have that pain point yet. Yeah. And then I had two of my top agents. I decided that, it was time for them to spread their wings, and they called me for lunch and said, we love everything that you've done and helped us grow our business. It's time for us to do what you're doing.
Right.
But they didn't feel they could do that at my independent brokerage. It was my brand. I kind of ran it as like a team ridge, I heard someone say. And they wanted to go start their own brokerage. So they went to Keller Williams. And that kind of opened up my eyes, because all of a sudden, for the first time in a while, I felt a little pain. I watched about $500,000 walk out the door and go to another brokerage. So I kind of opened up my eyes to it by first opening up my heart to it and saying, okay, I might be wrong about this.
Right.
I'll have to just take a look. So I did. Sure. And I took that look, and what I saw was some solutions to holes in my business model, specifically around finding talent. And so I knew that I could really keep everything that I had going. Nothing had to change, but I just basically put my brokerage on a new platform.
Right.
The platform was eXp.
Right.
And it allowed all of my agents to now have the same opportunity I had as a broker to now grow their own brokerage under another brokerage.
Right.
In the form of revenue sharing, growing that extra set of income that none of them had an opportunity if they would have stayed. I wouldn't have moved Stasek Real Estate Experts to eXp. They wouldn't have an opportunity to grow their stock portfolio by selling homes, just like they would be doing. Some of them started selling more homes, which is great. You can make more commission.
Right.
They wouldn't have an opportunity to get stock in my company.
Right.
And now a lot of them are earning revenue share and just earning passive income for doing what they love, which is just building relationships with other agents.
Right.
A lot of them were already doing, but now they were able to show them this model, show them the opportunities to grow their business, and now everybody's winning, and it's more fun.
And we're folks at home. We're publicly traded on the NASDAQ, debt-free, 16 years out there, and a valuation in the billions.
Yeah.
Right. We gave them back like what, 200 million in rev share last year.
Yeah, it was a little over 200 million in revenue share back to the agents that are helping grow the company. It's like a thank you eXp says to us for helping grow the best brokerage on the planet.
Because it's like if you go to Warren Buffett and say, Mr. Buffett, I've done amazing at Berkshire. Can I get a little piece of the revenue you're making? You probably get laughed out of the building, right? With all due respect to those brokers out there.
They have an opportunity. I was with Remax prior. That's publicly traded as well. There's really no opportunity to grow wealth in stock like Dave Lineker did.
Sure.
I know Dave. I have a ton of respect. I worked for that company. I actually never thought I'd love it. I didn't like Remax. I loved it.
Sure.
But the opportunity to grow wealth and a legacy for your family, nothing like it exists other than with eXp.
Right.
So that's why I made it.
What would you say to the broker owner? Because I have tons of conversations with broker owners. A lot of them say, hey, this is my ship. Speaking of ships, right? I get to keep everything. I'm darned if I X amount to eXp or ABC, I get to keep everything. What would you say to a broker owner like that who's resistant or maybe not open to what's out there?
Yeah, I think for me, I had to, kind of check myself and ask myself the question, could I be wrong about this? My current thinking was, why would I move my brokerage under another brokerage? I'm doing great.
Right.
Making really good money.
Right.
Nice life for my family. But looking forward in 5 years, I knew that I was going to be on the same hamster wheel.
Right.
I knew I'd be competing with the big boys.
Sure.
Which at the time, eXp wasn't a big brokerage at the time, but I knew it was going to be.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I can compete with eXp, or I can just join them and help grow it. The decision I made was questioning myself, like, am I really wrong about this?
Right.
And it isn't, there's certain, I've met agents where it makes no sense.
Right.
But most of the time, most brokers we meet with, when they look at it with an open mind, a true open mind, what I think they'll find, which is what I found, is that I'm so much more profitable with less headaches.
Sure.
I have way more time than I've ever had in my real estate business, which I think is the reason why we get into this. What we find is that we get into it and we don't have more time. Even as a broker, your phone doesn't stop. Just if you're fortunate enough to grow an independent brokerage where you have enough agents where you don't have to stop, your phone doesn't stop ringing because they're still coming to you with a lot of things. And this is a different model where, I believe there is a responsibility for agents that you bring into eXp to help them succeed.
Absolutely.
How we've been able to grow our organization.
Absolutely.
So it's not the same, and it's certainly not the same responsibility on a legal basis that you have as a broker either.
Of course.
So it's all the benefits and all of the fun with less headaches, and less liability.
Looks like we got the boat here. So last thoughts before we sign off, Al.
Yeah, I think last thoughts is, if this is something that you've considered and you were like me and we're like, never eXp for me, not interested at all, I'd say, know what you are saying no to.
Correct.
Know what you're saying no to versus listening to your other friends that are, that don't know either, and pretend that they do. Open your mind up a little bit. See if it isn't for you. Right. Maybe it's not. Right. But I guarantee if you have the aspirations to get free,
this is the
freedom. There is no better way to do it faster, more fun, with less liability and more profit than eXp Real.
And no smart business person says no to an opportunity unless they know exactly what they're saying no to.
Amen.
Folks, if someone sent you this video, go back to them and say, hey, tell me more about eXp. We challenge you, encourage you to put your business hat on, keep an open mind, say yes to the next step until you have a compelling reason to say no. And if you're seeing this on my platforms, drop me a line, shoot me a text. We can have a business conversation so we can see if this is a good fit for you. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, Al. Appreciate it, brother.